Hi all, let's have a look at another interesting Paul Morphy game. Rook odds this time. So yeah, against non-sort of competitive tournament players, or even sometimes very good chess players, he would give odds games. So Rook odds against Hubert Knott. So e4, e5, we have a king's gambit, kind of, with a rook down. Knight f3, g5, bishop c4, g4, and now d4, so offering the knight as well. White wants to accentuate this f file. That's taken. And now just white castles, actually. Just offering black even more material if he wants. But black plays d5, that's taken. Bishop g4. With the threat of f2, winning the queen. Queen gets out of the way. And this provides support for queen b3. Sometimes, maybe. We have f takes g2. Black's pretty greedy in this game. Rook f2. c6. And now, making black even happier. Giving black another piece. Bishop takes f7. So, there's been a rook here at the start, a knight, and now this bishop. But there are some dangers now after bishop takes f4. White is threatening bishop g5 to win the queen, but would still be materially lost at this point now. Knight f6, e5, knight bd7, knight c3, bishop g7, putting more pressure on that f file. Black is refusing to have the loss of the queen, when this might even be, let's see, knight takes, by this stage, 3 pieces up, knight takes e4 is probably one of the best moves. It doesn't matter anymore about this queen. If bishop g5 check, well, knight takes f2 is winning white's queen anyway there. Queen b3, bishop e6. So yeah, knight takes e4 is absolutely a winning move in this odds game. Okay, so black played h6. We have e takes, knight takes, bishop e5, putting a lot of pressure on f6. So how is it white sacrifices 2 pieces after the initial rook sack and has the pressure? How is that possible for white to have 3 pieces on f6? Anyway, after rook f8, knight takes, bishop takes, we have here a dangerous position already emerging, because you notice that this h7 is available. And if we go into h7 immediately though, king e6. Now there's a big curiosity here after bishop takes f6, which I'm not sure has been explored before. After bishop takes f6, black, you might think, should consider queen takes bishop, but he played queen d7. Let's see. On queen takes f6, this is probably one of the strongest moves, queen takes f6. But it leads to basically equality, it seems, because we can fight, it seems, because we can take this, and we can fight with the white pieces with these checks, and maybe even take on g2. So what was played was actually queen d7. And this is the curiosity position on both Morton on engine analysis. It's a curiosity. It struck me as slightly weird that there's a move in this position which is different from Paul Morphy's move, which I think is just actually bordering on only a small advantage for white potentially, or just equality. This was Paul Morphy's move, queen h7 check. But believe it or not, there's this move in this position which secures white a winning advantage. It's a bit of super magic, super technical magic. I don't know if you'd ever be able to find it, actually. I'm going to give you an exercise to win 1,000 points. If you can find this move, which is kind of magical, to be honest. it does seem to win in all variations. White play here. So this video is kind of more of an exercise for this particular position. Otherwise, I might not have even covered this game. I just found this resource with our engine friends, and let's see, can you find it? So you might want to pause the video here. I'll give you 5 seconds to pause the video and analyze. It's weird, but d5. It's got numerous ideas. One, it's controlling e6. Another, it supports bishop c3 or bishop d4, maybe to c5 on this diagonal. So it's giving this bishop a few more extra powers. The bishop's becoming an X-Man. He's got superpowers, the bishop. I swear, every way we cut this now, what I've looked at, it's just losing for black. Any way it's cut this position. c5, there's a silent killer move because we're controlling e6 now with the queen. There's queen e4, silent killer move. Say rook ac8, rook bishop c3 check, and it's over. Because as soon as the king goes here, we've got queen g6. This is over for black. So d5, yeah. C takes, check. Now if king e8, check. And if here we take the rook, if rook f7, check. And you'll note now the bishop's got extra powers, bishop b4 check, which is absolutely winning in this position. You might think king e6. Let's just actually check king e6. I think king e6 we just take on g4 to mate in 3. It's fascinating, but d5 seems to win in all variations. Queen takes. We have check, and the queen's actually blocking an escape route. So king e6, queen e7 is an embarrassing checkmate. Yeah, so we've looked at c5, queen takes. I mean, what does black do? Controlling e6 means, you know, if a rook move, you know, we're controlling e6 here in escape square. So in a way, it's kind of boiling the king, boiling the frog type move. It's controlling an escape square. But it's simultaneously not only constructing mating net, but also liberating the bishop across this potentially dangerous diagonal as well, with that discovered check tempo. So it's a remarkable resource, which if you check this game out, yeah, white's a rook down here, and just winning in this position. I know it's fascinating. Well, I find it fascinating. If king e8, check this position, we can play bishop g5 here, threatening queen g8. You know, devastating queen g8. You know, because if we play queen g8 immediately, there's rook f8. So this bishop g5 is devastating. You know, black's gonna have to give up material. It's hopeless. In fact, strongest is check, check, and look at that bishop there. Yeah, it's winning. It's all crashing through. It's unbelievable to me that this d5 is just absolutely winning in this position. You might want to analyze this yourself to believe it. Okay, so anyway, in the game we have check here and check, bishop g5, and we see a similar pattern for what a variation I'm just showing you, but in this position black did have a resource queen f5, and this would be enough to secure a kind of fortress draw. For example, taking and king d7, and it's going to be difficult for white to win this. So that's very, very different from a variation I've shown you. It looks similar, doesn't it, in some respects? When you might prompt me to ask, well, can you just show the other line with d5 in that regard, which I'll try and do. So we had this other line with a check and a bishop g5, and you might think, well, why isn't there like queen f5 here? Rook takes, bishop takes. This position is quite different. After queen takes h6, there's a threat of check winning the rook, and if here bishop f4, it's very, very different actually. Yeah, there's very, very dangerous threats. For example, there's just no way of getting a kind of fortress here. It's significantly different anyway. So yeah, in the game continuation, okay, so king e8, we have this thing where this position where it's not as great there. There was queen f5. Little nuances in the position. But black just blew up in this position. He didn't play queen f5. He played bishop f3. And after rook takes, yeah, exploiting the pin, here, check is met with a check. And it's kind of all over after that. Yep. Check. And that's going to be... And he's winning the queen. And it was all over at move 27. Okay, so I thought the game was pretty interesting, how some of Morphy's odds opponents are so greedy for more and more material. But there's also, it's fascinating to me that d5 at that critical moment is winning in all variations as well. Okay, I hope you found that interesting. Comments, questions, likes, shares appreciated. Thanks so much.